How the conclusion of the Buccaneers Season 2 preps Season 3. The Season 2 finale of the Buccaneers has totally upended the existing quo. There will soon be a mysterious replacement Duke named Kit, thus the rumors about him will undoubtedly intensify. The Dowager may perhaps find that they have all been destroyed by her devotion to Tintagel. What else could explain Reede Robinson's, Greg Wise, bewilderment at her choice? Theo, Nan, Guy, and Lizzy's love square has also not been settled, however, with Paloma and Hector now involved, it is more of a love hexagon. Lizzy and Paloma will mostly determine how it ends on its own. Lizzy must decide between Hector and Theo, even if Hector's secret will eventually be revealed. Meanwhile, Guy needs Paloma's approval before he can be with Nan in a real sense. Though I still question if the child is indeed Theo's. Could Nan's or the doctor's calculations be incorrect? Guy would most likely be the one ready to parent another man's child. But more than anything else, a possible Season 3 should concentrate on the relationships among the 5 young ladies who initiated it all. The Buccaneers Season 2 finale, which follows a tonally darker performance, offers new drama and several unexpected turns that hint to a possible 3rd season. With plotlines involving kidnapping, forced institutionalization, adultery, unexpected pregnancies, and even murder, the title American Buccaneers, Nan, Christine Frozeth, Ginny, Imogen Waterhouse, Lizzy, Aubrey Ibrag, Conchita, Alicia Bowe, and Mabel, Josie Tota, were put through a lot this season. The Buccaneers' penultimate episode did hint to what was to come, even if Season 2 Episode 7 properly concentrated on Conchita's grief following the loss of her husband Richard, Josh Dillon, and Ginny's recuperation after her own husband's abusive actions. Nan learned the truth about Guy Remmer's character, Theo. And Lizzy's affair after discovering that Lizzy had left an earring at Tintagel Castle. At midnight during her masquerade ball, the Duchess chooses to divulge her greatest secret, and Theo and Lizzy's relationship is revealed in the Season 2 conclusion of the Buccaneers. Theo, perhaps thankfully, gets ahead of Nan by making a statement that grants him, Lizzy, and Nan the independence they all so much desired but feared they would never have. Explaining Theo's abdication. At the Buccaneers Season 2 Episode 8, She Knows, Nan tells her mother Patricia, Christina Hendricks, that she is expecting Theo's child, Tintagel's heir apparent. Using Lizzy's weakness to her advantage, Nan conspires and blackmails Theo into allowing her to stay throughout the entire episode, acting completely out of character. However, Nan's pregnancy clarifies her intentions. She never intended to fully reveal Lizzy. All she needed to do was make sure that she and her child couldn't be separated by Theo and his mother, the Dowager Duchess of Tintagel, Amelia Bullmore. She was about to tell everyone that she was pregnant at her ball, which would have put Theo and his mother in a difficult situation, but Theo interrupted her before she could say anything. Theo unexpectedly declares his abdication as Duke. He tells everyone that he loves Lizzy. Theo, Lizzy, and, consequently, Nan and Guy, can all have the freedom they want if he abdicates and gets a divorce. But Theo didn't realize how much his mother valued Tintagel and the history of their family. To keep Tintagel in the family, she surreptitiously drafted a letter to Theo's long-lost brother. The Buccaneers' possible 3rd season will depend on how Theo responds to his brother's arrival. Will his affection for Lizzy suffice? Or, after learning the truth about his brother's conception, will he feel obliged to defend his position as Tintagel's Duke? Lizzy's loyalty and if she will feel pressure to conceal Nan's pregnancy are more concerns. Does Nan have the capacity to manage the pregnancy alone? When Nan realizes that she will no longer be a duchess, she decides to start over and leaves everything behind. Even though Nan has made many mistakes, her run on the beach is a poignant moment for a character who puts the needs of those she loves above her own. After all, that's how she got into a marriage devoid of love. For the first time, Nan makes a decision that is solely for herself when she flees Tintagel in the Buccaneers Season 2 finale. In order to raise her child outside of the institution, she intends to keep it and raise it independently. How far will she run? And if the Dowager Duchess and Theo ever learn of the pregnancy, will it be far enough away? In addition to being a free-spirited and organized individual, Nan has a strong social side. For solace, she turns to her family and friends. This was made clear at the start of this season when Nan gave in to her loneliness. She will definitely eventually include Ginny, Conchita, Mabel, and possibly Lizzy in her pregnancy, but there's a potential that this could compromise her independence. Guy, Matthew Broome, who married Italian beauty Paloma, Grace Ambrose, in a frenzied, inebriated marriage, is also still madly in love with Nan. If they stay married, it will be considerably more difficult for Guy to locate Nan or perhaps assist her during this vulnerable period of her life. It is unclear why Paloma is keeping the annulment documents from Guy. Lizzy must make a tough choice. Despite Theo's status change, Lizzy is once again faced with a decision: would she openly acknowledge his love for her? For a life of security and relative comfort, will she accept Hector Robinson's, Jacob Ifen, second proposal, which is noticeably less romantic? The romance between two young, brave women is the true love story of the Buccaneers, as Nan told Lizzy in the film's conclusion. For no other reason than Lizzy's love for Nan, Lizzy and Theo's romance might be doomed. But Lizzy doesn't know something that the audience does. Despite having earlier rejected him at the altar, Hector's shockingly cunning act of leaking the Duke's affair to the media put Lizzy in a precarious position where the safest course of action was to marry him after all. One of the biggest twists in the episode was definitely Hector's plan. Two strong, crafty men now control Lizzy's entire future and reputation. Despite Lizzy's flaws, they are effectively taking away her autonomy. Lizzy's current predicament is heartbreaking, but it also serves as a reminder of how important the Buccaneers' support is. Lizzy could become quite alone without her companions. Conchita, Ginny, and Mabel discover a way to proceed. Conchita's home is safe for Ginny and Freddie, even if her terrifying ordeal with her husband, James, Barney Fishwick, came to a shocking end in the Buccaneers Season 2, Episode 6. However, in the Season 2 conclusion of the Buccaneers, there was still a small plot point left for Conchita and Mabel. Conchita has been having trouble with her introduction company since her husband passed away. She needs money and her family name is no longer respected. After bidding farewell to her not-so-secret girlfriend, Anuria, Mia Threppleton, Mabel has made the decision to start a new path and finally affirms her sexual orientation. Mabel wishes to facilitate the connection of people who are having sexuality issues. Conchita requires a new client. These two couldn't have come at a better moment, and their fireside conversation is a true bright spot in an otherwise intense season.